Beside the point. Not relevant, not important. Example 1. Whether or not I asked the waiter to bring us water is beside the point. Waiters should always bring water to the table. Example 2. The reason you're late is beside the point. The fact is, your dinner is now cold. Brown noser. A person who's constantly trying to win favor with people above them, such as teachers or bosses. Example 1. Lauren is such a brown noser. She's always telling her teacher how much she enjoys class. Example 2. Dennis brought the boss lunch today. What a brown noser. Note, you will also see the verb form of this expression, to brown nose. Example, Dennis is always brown-nosing the boss, but I still don't think he's going to get a promotion. By far. By a wide margin, by a great difference. Example 1. Some people think Tom Hanks is by far the best actor in America today. Example 2. Mediterranean Grill is by far the best restaurant in town. No wonder it's so hard to get a reservation there. Synonyms. By a long shot, far and away, hands down. To count on someone. To depend or rely on someone. Example 1. My brother has a great sense of humor, so I can always count on him to cheer me up. Example 2. If I can count on you to wake me up, I won't set my alarm clock. To be crazy about. To like very much. Example 1. Amy is so crazy about golf, she'd like to play every day. Example 2. I'm sure Katie will agree to go out on a date with Sam. She's crazy about him. Full of oneself. To think too much of oneself. Example 1. After Angela appeared on the cover of Vogue magazine, she was really full of herself. Example 2. Mitch thinks he's really great. He's so full of himself. To get down to business. To get serious about a task. Example 1. The book club members spent the first 2 hours of their meeting eating and drinking before finally getting down to business. Example 2. Our dinner guests are arriving in 2 hours. We'd better get down to business and start preparing. To get or to have under one's belt. To have or to get experience. Example 1. Kristen had 3 years of working for a large law firm under her belt before leaving to start her own firm. Example 2. Ernie needs to get an MBA under his belt to get the job he wants. To give someone a run for one's money. To be strong competition. Example 1. We lost the soccer tournament, but we certainly gave the girls from Stanford High School a run for their money. Example 2. Tina is a good tennis player and always gives me a run for my money. To give someone the cold shoulder. To be cold to someone on purpose, to snub someone. Example 1. When Lisa saw Amber at the mall, she didn't even stop to talk to her. She really gave her the cold shoulder. Example 2. I can't understand why Joe would give you the cold shoulder. I thought you two were good friends. Synonym. To blow someone off. Example. Amber can't understand why Lisa blew her off at the mall. To not give someone the time of day. To ignore someone. To refuse to pay any attention to someone. Example 1. Sandra never gave me the time of day back in college, but now she calls me all the time for advice. Example 2. Why don't you find a new stockbroker? Yours is always so busy, she barely gives you the time of day. Goody-goody. Self-righteously or smugly good. Example 1. Goody-goodies usually sit in the front row and smile at the teacher during class. Example 2. Samantha is a real goody-goody. She always offers to erase the blackboard at the end of class. Synonyms. Goody two-shoes, teacher's pet. It's a deal. I agree, to a proposal or offer. Example 1. You'll make dinner every night for a month if I help you with your homework? Okay, it's a deal. Example 2. If you rake up all the leaves in front of the house, I'll do the dishes, it's a deal. To kid around. To joke around, to tease. Example 1. Jeremy loves to kid around, so don't be offended by anything he says. Example 2. While they were kidding around, Tim accidentally poked Rob in the eye. He had to be rushed to the emergency room of the hospital. Note, you will often hear this in the negative, not kidding around. This means to take something very seriously. Example, the White House is not kidding around with airport security. To talk into. To persuade, to convince. Example 1. Chris didn't want to jump out of the plane, but Aaron talked him into it. Example 2. Stop trying to talk me into going to the dance club on Saturday night. I already decided that I'm going to Maria's party instead. You scratch my back and I'll scratch yours. If you do me a favor, I'll do you a favor, let's cooperate. Example 1. I'll help you with your homework if you do the dishes. You scratch my back and I'll scratch yours. Example 2. If I drive you into the city, will you pick up my dry cleaning? You scratch my back and I'll scratch yours.